The 2005 Chevy Astro van, the last of its kind. We've had ours for about 12 years, but about a year ago, it started on a journey that would lead to a major transformation. Hard to believe it's been a year since we started building out the van. It's changed so much.
Right? And costs so much money.
Well, yeah, but it also has been a lot of fun, and it gives us something fun to do.
That is true.
So the first thing we did was added LED headlights, both low beam and high beam headlights from xenonpro.com. I do sometimes have concerns about the low beam bulbs being too bright.
He's that guy that blinds you when you're in the little car.
No, I don't, well, maybe a little bit.
When I used to have my little car, you were.
I mean, you've followed me, or you've encountered me on the road.
Yes, it's not too bad.
I mean, not any worse than anybody else that's got
No.
LED, stock LED lights.
No, definitely not.
But I have had people who have flashed their high beams at me a couple of times,
Thinking that you had your high beams on when you didn't.
yeah. So
But I feel like that's all LED lights.
kind of is. We have that happen to us in the other car too.
Yeah.
In our Kia. So yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to the 25 watt low beam bulbs, just to make sure that I'm not blinding other drivers, and that's a little bit closer to stock, but still a little bit brighter than stock is like 18 watts. So 25 watts would be just a little bit brighter than that. But it sure makes a difference in the visibility. Being able to see these stock headlights in these things are terrible. Then next on the list was the bumper.
Right.
We had to replace the bumper because that other bumper got smushed.
Yes.
And we drove it like that for 10 years.
Yeah.
And finally we decided it was time to put a little bit of money into the van, and we decided we were going to go off-road with it and make it into an overland van. So of course we had to go to Journeys Off-Road and get their heavy-duty bumper, and since we were going to do that, we decided we'd get the hidden winch bumper so that eventually we'll put a winch in there.
Right.
But anyway, it's super cool, and I really think it really makes the look of the van.
It does.
And also is going to give us a good solid anchor point if we ever drive down a road where we're going to get stuck or something like that, like the snow we're encountering here. But yeah, so when they shipped it, they did come. That was actually a pretty expensive upgrade.
Yeah.
All the upgrades are expensive.
So far, they've been pretty spendy.
But that one was pretty expensive, and then when it came, we had to get it powder coated.
Right.
So that kind of added to the cost a little bit too. But like I say, man, it really sets the look of the van to me.
Yes.
I think
the
it looks.
delivery guy was really nice, though.
Yeah.
He let me. He put it right into the garage, so I didn't have to move it after he brought it to the house.
Nice. Nice. So then the next thing on the list, and this was the big thing. Even though it wasn't the most expensive thing, it really changed the look of the van. And that was the lift kit.
Yes. Oh,
and we're so glad that we have a company like Journeys Off-Road to supply us with parts for things like this and customizations for the van, and yeah, super cool. We got the 3 to 5 inch lift, which is 3-inch body pucks in the front, and then lift shackles in the back to help lift the back end of the van up. Eventually we will probably end up putting heavy-duty springs in the back because we're going to be adding some weight, but for now we're just kind of going with that. We did have to crank the torsion bars up in order to get to the 5 inches, because when we did the back we went all the way up. And so in order to get level it up in the front, we had to go up to 5 inches in the front too. And it looked kind of goofy for a minute.
It did.
Until
it was definitely had on its tippy toes.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but also when we got it lifted, we couldn't afford the tires.
No,
right
not
away.
right away. So it had little dinky baby tires
Yeah,
on.
it just had street tires on it for a little while. But then that was the next upgrade.
Yep.
So the next thing we did was we put wheels and tires on it.
Right.
We weren't originally going to do wheels on it, but when we put the BF Goodrich KO2 245 75 R16s on there, they're a little wide, and I barely had any steering at all, and I was rubbing against the subframe, so we had to put wheels on it so that we could have turn radius without rubbing on the subframe.
Right.
So we went to 0 offset wheels. We got MB Legacy, that's what they're called. MB Legacy 0 offset.
Pretty and black.
Well, they're all right. I mean, they weren't what I had in mind. I kind of wanted to do something that had even just faux bead locks on it. I wanted something probably not chrome because they're going to get tore up on the roads and stuff that we're going to be on. But they were on sale. I got a really good deal on them, and I needed them in order to be able to drive out with the tires that I had on them.
Right.
Because they weren't the tires we started with. That's what you're going to say.
Yeah.
They weren't the tires we started with. The ones we started with were too narrow, in my opinion. The van looked really. There's a term for it.
Stilts.
The Jeepsters call it pizza cutters. It's actually it's actually a thing.
Well, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous. So we were able to take it in and get them swapped out with the wider tires on there, but in order to do that, we had to buy rims to accommodate those tires. So yeah, that was a pretty good expense. I think we spent about $2,500 on that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now we've got the bumper, which was $2,000 by the time you count in the
powder coating.
The powder coating. The headlights were $300 or $400, and then the lift kit. I think we paid $800 for that. I think that sounds right. I don't remember for sure.
I'll trust you on that.
And then the wheels and tires were, $2,500. So pretty good chunk of money.
This is true, but
we're not done.
Well, no, we're not done. But we look awesome already.
Yeah. So then we kind of took a break and started saving up for our summer vacations.
Right.
So the first thing we did was we went to the Overland Expo PNW, which was in Redmond, Oregon, down in Central Oregon, and it was an absolute blast. Christina and I went to that. You ended up having to work, so you couldn't go. And man, it was just, I've never been to something like that before, and more vendors than we could see. We ended up going down Friday night, so we didn't get to walk around on Friday. But so many things to see, classes, so many classes we couldn't even take them. We're gonna do a little better this year about trying to make sure we get into some classes.
Right, we're kind of prepping already.
Yeah, and we are going to be there for 4 days.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave on Thursday and get down there Thursday night and be there for all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. So I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to go. And that's gonna be in July.
The weekend after the 4th of July.
There you go, the weekend after the 4th of July. So we'll be going to that again this year. And that was where we bought our fridge.
Right.
And I think we're going to be shopping for a fridge again this year.
The fridge. You also bought the camp stove or fire.
The fire pit,
the
little propane fire pit. Yep. And then, but this year I think we're shopping for a refrigerator again.
Yeah.
The refrigerator we've got is it doesn't really work very well for us. It is too tall.
Right.
And so it's not going to work for the build out that we want to do. So anybody local, it's going to be for sale if you're interested.
All but brand new.
It is brand new.
Actually, it is.
It is, yeah, because the original one
didn't
work out. So Anyway, so we'll be going there again this year. And then...
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. And then you and I
Yes.
actually did our first actual overland trip
Overlands.
with the van. We took it out for its maiden voyage and went camping in it. Did an overnight trip on the first section of the Washington BDR.
Yes.
I finally got it right.
I'm not going to say the letters.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. We explored and checked out the road. Drove about 120 miles on dirt roads, back roads,
Right.
trails where Astro vans normally fear to tread. But since we had done the lift and got the tires and all that, we didn't have any trouble at all.
Nope, we were ready to rock and roll.
Had a great night.
Yes. And we went out the first weekend of the Perseid meteor shower, so we chose to camp in a place that had open air vision.
Mm-hmm. Except I don't think we actually saw any.
I don't think we did either. But there were bats like crazy.
Oh yeah.
It was super cool.
That was a lot of fun. I know we said we'd see you in the morning, but you see how cool this thing is?
It's amazing.
It is the most awesome little fire pit. And I realized I was only going to have this one opportunity to kind of show it to you and share with you. And it's literally everything we hoped it would be.
It puts out a nice little heat. I mean, you have to be fairly close to it, but it still gives you that fire feel for when you're out in the great outdoors. And I don't know if you can hear them, but we have got bats galore, and they are practically dive bombing us.
They're flying in really close. I don't think they're used to people around in their area. And then we headed up to the Olympic Peninsula.
Yes.
And we went.
Big family.
Yeah, it was a big family trip. We took the van and one of the cars because Ellie and Haley were going to a Chicks concert, and Christina and I were gonna stick around for another night of
and do a little overlanding up in the forest.
And we did all kinds of. We went down on the beach. We went up to
the westernmost point of the United States.
Yep, and all of that.
All of it.
And filmed it all.
Yes.
And edited a video.
It's wonderful.
It's a great video. However, I've recently found out that because we post our stuff on YouTube, that we arguably should have had a permit to shoot that video.
Who knew?
In a national park. Now, that's a big bone of contention going on right now. There's a lot of debate about that because, I mean, especially like for us, we do this because we're just
having a good time.
We're creating memories. That's what we're doing, and we're sharing them so you can enjoy them too. So with that in mind, I mean, we're never going to monetize the channel. I don't see us ever monetizing the channel. We're not big time overlanders.
We do this for fun, not because we have to.
Right. Right. One of the guys I follow, he monetized his channel and he's getting sponsors, and one of his sponsors wanted to review his stuff before he posted it, and he's like, I'm not going to do that. Well, if that's what doing this for money means, I don't want to do it either.
Right?
I do this for fun.
Exactly.
And I make these videos creatively. I want them to look professional. I want them to look good because I kind of enjoy doing that. But I'm not ever going to make any money off of it, so I don't see why I would need to buy a permit
to record ourselves.
to record our vacation, our family vacation. So anyway, that's a thing that's going on right now. It's not worth getting fined over, so I took those videos down, made them private, so that because that's what they're for. They're for us, and we just won't film in a national park anymore. So,
which kind of sucks because there's lots of wonderful places to do these things in national parks.
There are so many people out there overlanding these days. I think that they need to create rules that creates a distinction between YouTubers
Right.
and big production companies that are using, because that's what these permit systems are for.
Right.
Where if it's a big production company that's filming a film there.
We're not Hollywood filmmakers.
No, and we don't have Hollywood money.
No.
We're just out here enjoying the natural resources that we have a right to. So, but that's not a fight we have the money to get involved in.
No.
So it's not worth it to me. So anyway, there is one little clip though
Yes.
that I want to share from our Overland or our Olympic Peninsula trip, because our little darling Doodle is so funny. You got to see this.
You know, you call this brats, but this is clearly spelled brats. Like, we're eating smoked children here. Like,
Okay, so a bit of honesty. We did actually stage and record that so that we could share that with you. So if it looks a little staged and a little acted out, it's because it is. However, that's because minutes prior to recording that, she actually said these things.
Hey, maybe more than a couple minutes because we were laughing so hard. It took us a minute to calm down.
and it was not, I mean, I don't know if she was serious or not. She sure sounded serious. Deadpan face. And I was just like, we were cracking up. But yep, that's what living with Doodle is like. She's not just a pretty face, she's pretty darn funny too. So then, like I was saying, that at the end of that trip, you and Haley went to a Chicks concert.
Yes.
And Christina and I, we decided to stick around for another night of overlanding in the Olympic National Forest, which was an adventure.
Right. As it was supposed to be.
I had to take that video down too because it has a little teeny tiny clip that was shot at the national park. And so I think I can edit that one out. So I might revise that one and repost
So you can repost it.
Maybe. There's some good stuff in there.
Right?
But yeah, so we went out and we did that, and that was pretty much the extent of our overlanding for the summer. It was time to get back to work and time to get busy saving for the next big upgrade.
Right?
This road is bumpy.
Yes, it is. And ever so slightly slushy from the snow.
Yeah.
Not much snow, just a tiny bit.
Speaking of snow,
Oh, yeah?
so it took us a couple of months. Well, actually, we got the money saved up for the roof rack.
Yes.
But then once we got the money together for the roof rack, it actually took us a little bit to get the roof rack installed. There was some back and forth with Lolo and with Front Runner, and we finally got the roof rack installed and got that all sorted out. And even once we got it installed, kind of had a little snafu that we had to fix. And so really, Santa was good to me. Because just in time, we got the van back, and it had with the roof rack. And for Christmas, we got a 270 awning from Free Spirit.
Yep.
And go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying, and GoPro.
Oh yeah, and we got the GoPro that I'm talking to you on right now.
And all the little goodies that go along with it.
tons of accessories for it. We are set up for a GoPro now.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to get another one.
Yes.
One for talking inside the van, and then one that we'll put on the outside of the van. That'll kind of be in its protective shell and all that kind of stuff. Because the one inside the van has a media kit on it that's not waterproof.
No.
So.
But it has a great little microphone and all that perfect stuff.
Sound is really good on it. So, yeah. So now we're all set up.
Just about. Well, we're another set of setup.
we are. I mean, that's kind of our 2022 season.
Yes. Next, we get to start saving up for the next.
Right. Okay, so what's in store for 2023? I've got notes. I'm going to refer to my notes. By the way, it's snowing.
Yes, we found snow. Not only on the ground.
We're going to start with some maintenance items.
Yes.
The lift with the bigger tires and dropping the engine down in the engine bay 3 inches. The cooling system is not really working as efficiently as it should be.
Right.
And in talking to the mechanic, he says that we need to go through the cooling system, replace the radiator, replace the hoses, replace the water pump, all of that stuff. As far as I know, the radiator's never been replaced. It's got 190,000 miles on it. It's time to replace the radiator. So the mechanic says, actually the radiator shop says that that will probably take care of our problem. But if that doesn't take care of the problem, then we'll be looking at installing a pusher fan that'll help push air through the radiator and take care of that issue with it not cooling properly.
Right.
So that's going to take a pretty good chunk of money. The quote I got on that 3 or 4 months ago was about $1,600. It might be more than that. It also might be a project I might try and tackle on my own. I'm not sure yet.
You've gotten pretty good at this.
Yeah. Next up is I want to get a drone.
Yes. Next big.
Just adding the GoPro has really made a huge difference in the quality of our videos, and also I'm kind of educating myself on video editing and shooting and learning how to shoot B-roll, better B-roll, stuff like that. So the quality of our video for 2023 is going to improve. I'm super excited about that. You'll be able to see where we were last year compared to where we're going to be this year. Super excited to get some new toys to play with and have lots more options and have some fun with this, which is really what it's all about. What else are we doing in 2023? Oh, right, we talked about this earlier. We need to get a new fridge.
Oh, yes.
The fridge that we've got is too tall. It won't work for the build out that we want to do. So we're looking at a Dometic, either a 75 or a 95, because there's 4 of us, so we need to be able to haul plenty of food. But we need that shorter profile because the idea is in the build out back here that's going to be an overland build out, which means the kitchen is going to be out back. We still want to be able to use that area on top for somebody to sleep in if they need to. It's going to be really tight quarters in there, but at least it'll serve in a pinch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if we don't have a place to set up a tent, then 2 people could sleep in there fairly easily.
Yeah.
So that's on the agenda for this year also.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do the cooling system and the drone first.
Yes.
And then we're going to go to the Overland Expo with cash in our pockets to hopefully be able to buy our fridge. We usually get a pretty good deal there, so that's the game plan. And then when we get back from the Overland Expo, We have vacation time in August. We're probably going to go out and do a couple of trips. But we're also talking about maybe utilizing that time to work on the build-out.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get some exploration time in, but they're probably going to be really short trips and close to home, overnight jaunts, that
Right.
kind of a thing. Simply because we're trying to really funnel as
Every
much
penny
money
we
toward
can.
this thing as what we can, because the goal is, we wanted to do it this year, but next year we want to do the full Washington BDR from border to border.
Yes.
But before we do that, I want to be ready. I want to be fully equipped. I want to have the winch. I want to have a saw. I want to be ready to tackle anything that's going to come in our way. The rooftop tent.
The rooftop tent.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things at play. BDR might not happen until 2025. It hurts my heart to say that, but I don't want to do it until we're prepared to do
I
it.
know.
So,
It doesn't make sense to do it before we're prepared.
right. And then once we get the summer travels done, maybe the beginning of August we might start on the build out. The build out, I think, is
Beginning of September.
beginning of August.
Oh, okay.
Like we may do that during our summer shutdown.
Oh, okay.
Because we'll have the time to focus on it and work on it. It won't be a weekend thing. I need to find somebody that can weld stainless steel, because I want to build a stainless steel frame for the build out.
Right.
So that we're not packing all that wood. A wood structure can get heavy on you. Stainless steel is slightly lighter. We're kind of starting to think about weight. We are packing some things that are heavy. Our stove is tremendously heavier than most overlanders use.
Yes.
But we love our stove, and I want to keep that if I can. So we're trying to cut some corners in some other places. I really think that once we get the build out done, that's going to be a huge leap of progress. We're going to have, it's going to really start to look like what the finished product is going to look like. Because we'll have our functional kitchen in the back that we'll be able to just literally pull up into a space, deploy the awning, pull out the kitchen, throw the tent up, and be ready to make dinner and go to bed within minutes of parking.
Right.
So, and to us, that's what overlanding is about. It's about get in, get deployed, set up.
Because we want to spend most of the time doing the fun parts, or what we consider the fun parts, which is the adventuring and the sightseeing, not the set up and tear down.
Yeah. So that's what our game plan is. That's what we're going for. But yeah, let's see. Oh, this is the line that I wanted to say. It's in my notes here. The only thing holding us back is money. Lots and lots of money. So this video is technically the end of our 2022 season. It's January now. We came out and braved the snow. We don't really have a lot of good recovery gear yet, and I don't have the recovery skills yet. So we played it pretty safe coming up here. That is actually one of the things that I intend to do this summer, is I'm going to take some classes on recovery. We're going to outfit ourselves with some recovery gear. Every time we go off the road with this thing, I see a trail and I'm in, man, if I only had a winch.
Yep.
If I only had a winch.
You said that like 5 times already
Yeah,
today.
because I might try that. Just coming up into this campsite here. Man, I was like, well, if I'm going uphill and I can't make it up the hill, I can back down the hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty sketchy. There's a couple roads like you had to go down to get into, and it's like, I don't want to take a chance if we can't get back up.
You're right.
So when we get ourselves better outfitted, then we'll be more willing to try it.
Right, once we have the supplies and the skills, definitely the skills, because just because you have the stuff doesn't mean you know how to use it safely.
Right. And you can hurt yourself if you're not careful.
Right.
But the other thing is I want to have, and this is where some of you might come in, I want to have some buddies to go out with.
Right.
Like, there is no replacement for having another vehicle handy in case you break down or break something or get stuck or something like that. So I feel like the longer we do this, sooner or later, one of you Astro owners is going to be like, hey, they live near me. I could go out with them, and you could be out here with us right now.
Right?
So
Over the warm fire,
Yeah.
having snow drip on you.
yeah. So basically, we're just at this point we're saving up for the next big thing,
We are.
and that's kind of been our theme throughout 2022.
Yep.
We put $10,000 into this van. 10,000. I can't even believe it. When I think of that number, it just blows my mind. $10,000. What idiot puts $10,000 into a 25-year-old van?
That would be crazy, yes. For him.
Anyway, we love our van,
We love it.
and that's why we do it. And
Yes.
it's just going to be more and more and more, and we don't care because we love the van. Van's been in our family for 12 years, and it's going to be in our family until it dies.
Yep.
That's my attitude about it.
Yep.
Anyway, this being the end of our 2022 season, I think this deserves a toast. Here, you want me to open that for you?
Got it.
So what are we drinking?
You're drinking a Dark Truth.
A Boulevard Dark Truth Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
So, okay, all you Overland guys, y'all drink whiskey. Which, good on you, but it's not really my thing. Ellie drinks whiskey. She was tempted. We brought some whiskey up with us, but we did find. What do you got?
I have a kinky cocktail.
Which, if you know Ellie, it's fitting.
It's coconut lime and pineapple.
There you go. You need to open it. Here.
You can probably twist it off, but I'm not.
Hold mine.
I'll hold yours.
I'm not even going to twist it off. I'm just going to open
I'm
it.
gonna smell yours. Whew,
These are really
smells
good. You ever if you can get these where you're at, those are really awesome. Alright, this one's mine, I think.
Yep, I got mine over here.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Major Melon Mountain Dew.
Yum. But she's not 21 yet.
I'm not.
Only barely 18. By the way, y'all, this is Doodle. She's kind of the muscle of this operation. She helped me put in the lift kit into this thing.
Yes, she did.
She does a lot of the film work, and she's, of course, good for comedic relief. When she's around a little more and you've been around her a little more, you'll understand why we keep her around. She's also the chief bottle washer, and
That's true.
yeah.
And she's also a little badass air gun thingy runner. Yeah,
When we were doing
when she's doing the lift kit, she uses the little air after thingy.
Oh, the impact gun.
Yes, the impact gun. That.
The air runner thingy. To 2022 and to an adventurous and prosperous 2023. You got to clink that on the table. Non-alcoholic. There you go. Cheers.
Drink with me. Drink with me. Drink with me till the morning comes. And anytime you feel the strain, just call me up when skies are gray. Yeah. Anytime, come what may. Just remember, darling, things we said today. Yeah. Drink with me. Drink with me. Drink with me when the morning comes. Drink with me. Drink with me, yeah. Drink with me till the morning comes.